Emma Balkett, Head of Photography at the Financial Times, chose Cheryl Mukherjee's project, Goro Biro Alu, an in-depth exploration of self and heritage through the unique bond of mother and child. Balkett called this work unflinching and honest. Fiona Shields, Head of Photography at The Guardian, selected the COVID project by Ingmar Bjorn Nolting, praising it for its surreal aesthetic that chimes with the strangeness of how our lives have changed during this pandemic, touching on physical separation, the disguise of PPE, and our socially distanced dependency on technology. Yining He, writer and curator from China, chose Marcin Crook's documentary photographs of his wife, who is bearing the pain of myopathy from day to day, and reminding us of how this disease is controlling the human body and minds from an insider's perspective. Simon Bainbridge, arts educator and writer, selected Wish You Were Here by Heather Aggie Pong, reimagining herself as one of the African American cakewalker dancers. She inhabits the role to give her protagonists a sense of power and agency they were denied more than a century ago. Skinder Hundal, Director of Arts at the British Council, was impressed by the group show curated by Vincent Hasselbach. A strong selection of images from a variety of artists, this collaborative model shares a distinct and overarching vision for a new generation of visual thinkers. Gordon MacDonald, writer and curator, was intrigued by the work of Toyama Hiroto. Unsure as to whether he was looking at aerial photographs or models, documents, fabrications, scientific or perhaps artistic. He enjoyed trying to work out what it was about. Claire Strand, artist, selected Are You There by Kelly O'Brien, a project that embarks on an emotional yet distanced quest to retrieve her father from the unseen world. By connecting with a series of clairvoyances and using photography to document the undocumentable, O'Brien perfectly navigates that tricky line between pathos and bathos. Tanvi Mishra, photo editor and curator from India, highlights the work of Siva Sai Jiva Vanathan, which comments on Indian society's obsession with valuing a child's worth by how well they do in academics. He visualises the possibility of children breaking free from this oppressive ideal. Wang Bagu, deputy editor of the Chinese Photographers magazine, selected the work of Marco de Noia, a project that documents the democratic protests in Hong Kong in the past 2 years and reminds us of the importance photography has in recording historical events. Brian Griffin, photographer and patron of Format, selected the work by Shelley Weiler. He said of it, "I am happy, for I am nourished with your work in my lack of understanding in what you are showing me, but I will enjoy experiencing the intrigue." Anna Kuchma, director of the Uganda Press Photo Award, chose River Clore and his project Warawa Wawa, a surprising and visually striking work in which the photographer reimagines and visually recontextualizes Le Petit Prince by Antoine Saint-Exupéry. Stella Nantango, program coordinator at Uganda Press, selected the archival project by Semra Yesel Gonenli. Stella described this work as being of a quiet gruesomeness of humanity. Wang Puiquin, director of the Lishu Photography Festival in China, chose Sophie Evans's COVID project, shot in Hackney, East London. It was in this project that he found sunshine and hope. Isabella Wang, director of the International Department of the Lishu Photography Festival in China, chose Waiting for the Sun by Jakub Stanek, a project that looks at the effects of smog on people, animals and the environment. Gemma Marmalade from the University of Derby chose Stay at Home by Phil Harris, a digital video made in response to Prime Minister Boris Johnson's announcement on the 23rd of March 2020 for the people of Great Britain to stay at home. Louise Feditov Clements Director of the FORMAT Festival, chose Etinos Yvonne, an artist based in Nigeria, who is working with people at the internally displaced persons camp in Abuja. Through her work, Yvonne highlights the mental health issues faced by survivors of violent conflict. Peter Burnell, Senior Curator at Quad, has chosen Eleanor Helfrich's project Plexus. Focusing on her family history, particularly the female line, this work is a meditation on how past events can afford us opportunities to make sense of the present. Laura O'Leary, Curator at Quad, has selected Thanks for All the Fish by Jiangqi Wang. This documentary project looks at how the Hay River in Jiangqing, China, is used by the locals. Neve Tracy of the FORMAT Festival has chosen a field guide by Chao Chiang, an unapologetically disorientated and obscure tour of the artist's inner thoughts. It presents an uncanny view of our everyday world and taps into our unconsciousness, releasing the creative potential of our minds.